There can be any other disputes also, which are resolvable disputes.
All right. So, Swarup, yes, I think you want to say
1 minute.
Yes.
Two things I would like to say here. Number one, as ma'am says, that matter of family matters. I will request to ma'am, I had been searching a lot of women who has filed a 498A and her mother or sister is not alive. I have seen 6,000 cases. Only 2 girls I found all over India. Those girls, mother or sister, any one of them, is not there. The normal perception is, it is the boy's mother disturb the family. But unfortunately, today, I am saying today,
I have seen boy's
I have
father.
seen several cases where the boy's mother is not there, case is there. But I have not seen a single case where the girl's mother or sister is not there. That is one part, anyway. Second part, what I am saying, as you say, this counseling, why it is not giving the result? See, Supreme Court had clearly said, this misuse is like a unleashed legal terrorism. So when you put someone a gun and then say you mediate, you trust opposite party, it's very difficult. We get a lot of guys pre-498 stage. Means like 498 has not filed, they are facing the threat and all these things for a small dispute. And I am telling you, 90% cases, when you try to explain them, don't get afraid, be calm, be patient. You are a husband, if you are a good person, you do your duty. Now let her do whatever she wants. Only thing you should be aware, when this case will be filed, 90% it is will at the start. At the starting, you may be, because the word is it may presume. So at the start, FIR can be registered, and as it is non-billable, police can arrest you. So you have to take that precautions as a first step. Don't get arrested, because once you get arrested, then you get acquittal, because already people will getting acquittal because there is so much mismatch of the complaint, because it is like a copy cut paste complaint.
Okay.
Whatever FIR we get, we see maximum from the 2 or 3 girls, same thing. Every girl has been thrown out midnight of the 12 o'clock. One of my very good friend, and she was also my friend, the guy was also my friend, both are working in IT companies. She filed a 498A, it had been squashed by the Supreme Court. The judge says, ma'am, tell me, you are a IT guy, IT lady, have 2 mobiles, 1 car, and you say your mother-in-law came one day and throw you out of the house. So you can definitely call taxi, go to the 5-star hotel, and next day come and fight. What is this? That at midnight of 12 o'clock, your mother-in-law of 62 years old is throwing you out, and you are a badminton player, state champion. So what I am saying, the scope in this law, there is enough chances to misuse. 4 years back, nobody was accepted. We tried a lot. Nobody was ready to listen that this law is getting misused.
Right.
When we show this, just I will finish, ma'am.
Yes.
Today the situation is, after 4 years, we do not give any support to anyone, we just make the awareness. President of India says, Chief Justice of the India says, forget about others, maximum judgments are there. Even Supreme Court, total 500 IPC law is there, had not used so much a harsh word. So there is something wrong, ma'am. It is time to look it. If do not look, then we will be facing a very heavy price for public.
Right. Yes, Meenakshi.
You see, I am not disputing about the misuse. I'm completely, because it's not as if you get only one kind of cases or you represent. Basically, idea is to layer by layer remove the untruth and go to the truth. Truth of the matter. Truth of the matter is that so many gay husbands get married to heterosexual women in India. I mean, that is also a truth. So many men cover up their own inadequacies by labeling women as bipolar, schizophrenic, and so on and so forth. So many people who are 60 plus, 70 plus, does not mean they are not wicked. They are wicked also. So many cases where women is being used as a golden goose and actually her money is being extorted. So many cases, I mean, I will say 90% of marriages, not 100, but 90% of marriages, dowry is given or taken. 90%. And I've seen cases where decency of the woman has led to her own misfortune because man keeps her on the tenterhooks that we'll get together, we'll sort it out and remove all the dowry articles. We've seen that also. So the truth is not this way or that way. It is somewhere in between. And in between, the truth is that until and unless this law was here, let's go back time, mid-80s and prior to the time period of mid-80s, how many dowry deaths did you have? And how many dowry deaths do you have now? So it has played its role. I'm not saying it is not wreaking vengeance. It is wreaking vengeance as well. So you have to separate the chaff from the grain. You have to separate good people from bad people. There are bad nuts on both sides. So you have to distinguish that where, in which appropriate case is being misused. In how many cases, because of foolishness of the police authorities and others, the actual evidence is not brought on record. How many women even today die? You see, many a times I've heard another very senior doctor who's a forensic doctor say, "वो लड़कियां खुद जल जाती हैं."
Right. Well, I'll have to cut you short here, Meenakshi, at this point, because right now it's time for a short break here in Gender Discourse. People, don't go anywhere, as when you come back, we'll be joined by a victim of the misuse of dowry laws, and that's Mr. Abhimanyu. So all that after a break. Welcome back. You're watching Gender Discourse, and today we are talking about the misuse of dowry laws. And as I promised, we do have a victim here, Mr. Abhimanyu. I welcome you to the show, Abhimanyu, and I'm really thankful that you've agreed to come on national television and to share your own story with us as well as our viewers there. Now, well, to begin with, if you would like to tell us in short as to what really went on in your life.
At the differences, the way my mother used to look at them. And she told me in a few words that she had recourse to certain laws, expected that both of us would work and find a consensus.
A middle ground.
Yeah, a middle ground. But I realized my wife didn't seem to be looking at the differences the way my mother used to look at them. And she told me in a few words that she had recourse to certain laws which I hadn't heard of, and she wanted me to know that she had more options than I had.
In short,
yeah. And for some reason I thought of marriage as a very moral institution, so I never took her hints very seriously.
Right.
And when my father fell ill, and she told me in a few words that there was no possibility of her ever accepting him, in our life as somebody who stayed with us, I started to realize that this was going to go in a completely different direction. So my wife was telling me that the power equation had changed, and it was time I got used to it.